When there's an injustice against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up. Don't sit down on them. They need you.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet's Pop Culture Justice. And I'm sorry I'm late. I was literally just talking to nobody. We didn't hit the live button. But now thank you, Kim, for letting me know. Look, guys, I'm still a little tired from yesterday. What a show. Kim, can you believe it? We raised, I just checked, $69,256,000.54. We might get it during this show. If enough of you shared a couple more $100, we're gonna get to 70,000. That feels like a good number. The Make-A-Wish fundraising link is good through the weekend. We wanted to keep it up in case some of you guys caught on the replay or missed it yesterday. Yes, you still have your opportunities to help and be part of this amazing opportunity to help Corey to make wishes come true. I'm still reeling from yesterday. What a show. It was a lot of work, but so worth it. And thanks to all you guys who've been sending notes to thank myself, Steph, everybody. What a show it was. We tried to deliver. I hope we didn't disappoint. I don't think we disappointed because, Kim, we made $70,000. How are you reacting to this? Isn't this wild?
I am still equal parts pumped and exhausted. And I think it's going to take me a bit to fully rebound. I mean, it's a lot. We went for 8 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
Like a telethon. And I'm so glad we did. I'm so proud of this community. I think what happened yesterday is going to help so many people, so many families, so many kids. And what a worthy cause to do it for. I'm so proud of this community. And it's you guys amaze me every day.
Well said. And thank you, Carbonite Stardust, dropping a 2 here. Appreciate your support here. And all you guys who supported yesterday. It was incredible to see the support. And yeah, we managed to make some news. Of course, they're lying about us already. We're going to talk about that as well as, man, Elon Musk. I've been hard on Elon, but I got to give props where it's due. And holy moly, did he destroy the BBC. You got to watch this interview. This interview is unreal. He really just gets them, but we're going to get there. But first, we talked about it this morning. I do want to offer a correction and send love out to Lori. We did speak to Lori. She woke up to all the craziness as they were totally misquoting her. And so I wanted to make sure that we reacted fast, put the whole thing up in context. You could get it from her point of view. Man, she was so sweet. But the reality was they clipped it and sort of just focused on what she said about AH, which was part of a bigger, longer conversation. It was a question I asked. And it was also, she was there for the charity. And none of these outlets cared to put that in there or the link or help raise more funds. Only reason she came wasn't to dish on anybody. It was because she's a fan of this channel, the way we report, and she wanted to help the community. And she, more importantly, wanted to help Make-A-Wish. So they're out there saying she said this thing that she never said. She never said she would do illegal things.
No.
She said that, she very clearly said, if there are things I could do that were legal, I would, implying she'd like to do some bad things. But obviously she very clearly said legal things. Thanks to all you guys. Laura B, I think, also sent over a note. We had it here. In fact, I thought I had it here. Let me show it to you. They did respond, and idiots. They did respond, and they did correct it. So to their credit, they corrected it. They said, thank you for your email. I can confirm that the article has been updated accordingly. It may help to know that much of our content is produced under tight deadlines, and this can at times leave room for human error, which was unfortunately the case here. We appreciate you bringing it to our attention and trust it resolves your concerns. It doesn't. There's still some stuff in there I would adjust that they say about Amber. One of these artists said that she... They both decided to settle to put this away from themselves. Yeah, nice try. That spin's always in there. But yeah, no, sorry. You got to have a better, this human error. I think it was a little bit more than that. Anyway, they fixed it, but they're still out there saying nonsense. At least Lad Bible said it more correct. But yeah, Maria, everybody's out there trying to label this stuff. Cause yeah, this was a rare interview from Lori. We were very lucky to have her. Lori, if you're still watching, we love you. Thank you for trusting us and coming on. Sorry we opened up the can of worms, but I think we all knew it could happen. But I thought she was very sweet, so kind, honest. I love she was even look, there are things I could say about Johnny, but why? Everybody has those same issues. It just felt real. It felt genuine. And she was speaking so kindly about her experience with Johnny. It seems like they still are in touch. She's clearly still been a part of his life throughout time. And that's a good sign of somebody, Kim, when you can have that healthy, positive relationship with your ex, doesn't that sort of point to a good person you are?
Absolutely. I think isn't that kind of, I think a lot of the time what we hope for with breakups, that, depending on the situation, that there can be, some healing, that people can be at least civil, and even friendly. I mean, especially with co-parenting or things like that. And I know that's not the case for Johnny and Lori, but it's just, to me, it's encouraging to know that they still have, friends, and they, as she said, she had met Amber, went to a party where they were there and all that type of stuff. And I'm just happy to see that, people can be adults, have differences of opinion, and argue, or maybe some stuff happens and they can still put that aside and actually, be nice to each other and be good people. It's an
Maybe.
amazing thought. It's an amazing thought.
Maybe. That's the thought. Yeah. So anyway, kudos to Lori. And yeah, I don't like when they're lying about our charity stream. And if you're going to report on it, at least mention the fact that it's a charity stream, and mention the fact that the real headline is, oh my God, this community raised almost $70,000. And yeah, on my link tree, you can support today our channel, but if you still want to support the stream from yesterday, you can. It's still the top link to my link tree. So wherever you want to put your funds today, I appreciate it. But yeah, if you want to still help get over the edge, I know a few people are promised, like, I'm getting paid Thursday, I'm going to do it. Great. It's there for you all week. We did a great job. So thanks to everybody who supported it. And that should be the headline. But no, the media doesn't care. Media doesn't care. And that's what we do here, is to continue to call it out. And that's why I want to talk about Elon Musk. Now, I know a lot of people don't love him here, given the relationship with AH, etc. And I've called Elon out a lot on a lot of stuff that I feel like he has done. What's interesting is, I'll play this portion in a second, because how the BBC framed it was interesting. But I want to first play this clip. Now, this was a Twitter Spaces, but now Elon has tweeted out the video link of the same section, which I thought was the most telling 4 minutes of someone actually grilling the media and exposing them to their face, because this exchange is quite fascinating. Because I know a lot of people have these criticisms about him, but he just pushed and he was like, all right, tell me specifically what you mean. And this BBC reporter could not do it. He came to this fight wanting to take out Elon, and he just didn't come prepared. And he just came with assumptions and stuff. And I found it fascinating to watch. And I got to give props to Elon when I see them do. So let's check this out, of him actually going after the media and, in my opinion, winning. I'm curious what you guys say.
I would only just add that, we have spoken to people who have been sacked that used to be in content moderation, and we've spoken to people very recently who were involved in moderation, and they just say there's not enough people to police this stuff, particularly around hate speech in the company. Is that
what hate speech are you talking about? I mean, you use Twitter,
right?
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
but just a personal anecdote, like, what do you? I don't.
Personally, for you, I would see I get more of that kind of content, yeah, personally. But I'm not going to talk to the rest of for the rest of Twitter.
So you see more hate speech personally?
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Content you don't like, or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm
just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content. And I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me.
I think of like the Homer emoji into the bush, where this guy's suddenly realizing, oh crap.
Yeah, this is backing up.
Like, he's just doing what everyone complains about. Oh yeah, slightly sexist, slightly racist. It's the generalism, right? The generic. Oh yeah, that everyone just assumes is there. And okay, Elon's now facing it. Okay, so tell me, like what? Tell me one example.
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
don't. You can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that For You feed anymore. Because I just don't particularly like it.
But you said
actually, a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second.
My
you said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example. Not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so
is he using it or is he not using it, Kim? Like, what a dum-dum. This guy just It's like he's just drowning and he's caught. He's caught being biased. He's caught assuming. He didn't come in with facts. He didn't come with anything. He's just there to call out Elon. And I got to give Elon credit. He's so calm. He knows exactly what he's doing in this moment. And he's watching this reporter hang himself is what he's watching. Because this guy will not just admit, you're right. Okay, you know what? You're right. I guess we need to come up with specifics. That's what we're all told. And that's what I'm told. But you know what? I don't actually have that proof here. So I'll give you that. He can't even give him the truth. It's insane. I just went back to
strategic dialogue.
The hateful content was high. Seen that for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying...
Then I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet. And yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well...
That's false.
No, what I claimed...
You just lied.
What I claimed was... there are many organizations that say that that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my feed or not, I mean, right, and
literally
you can look at something
one.
like the Strategic Dialogue Institute in the UK. They will say that. So
look, people will say all sorts of nonsense. I'm literally asking for a single example, and you can't name one.
Right, and as I already said, I don't use that feed. But
then how would you know that?
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
You literally said you experienced more hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
that's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how would you know there's hateful content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on. We only have a certain amount of time.
Let's move on, because I'm completely effed. I look like a buffoon. I refuse to accept defeat, and I will just, like, Kim, is there anything more embarrassing for the BBC than this idiot who couldn't even, didn't sense that the quicksand he was stepping in and just continued to, punch out of it when he realized, dude, you just got to own that you just totally effed up big time. How embarrassing is this?
Very much so. And the thing that I don't really understand is I don't know, maybe this is just me and I over prepare for things, but whenever I am doing any type of an interview whatsoever, if we have any guests on the show, and I know there's a chance I'm going to get nervous and I won't be able to think, I open up a little notepad and I write down specific questions. And if I need to have answers I can anticipate, I try to make sure I check my sources and I try to make sure that I am prepared, because you never, ever want to get into a back and forth like that, because you discredit yourself so quickly if you don't know what you're talking about. Now, if he had pulled out that apparently the New York Times did an analysis and found that even after Elon had taken a whole bunch of steps to try to remove adult content that involved children, that there was still a massive problem with it, and it was incredibly easy to find that perhaps that was a problem within censorship on the platform, at least that would have been a respectable conversation. And with the understanding that obviously Elon wants to get rid of that and has taken quite a stance on that, and could have worked with the interview that way. But just this is painful. I feel like I'm watching someone digging themselves into a pit.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also and there's a little bit more I'm going to play, but it's also because I responded when I first saw the tweet, there's my biggest criticism right now is he does not care to stop targeted harassment. He just doesn't. There are ways that Meta and other sites allow you to block IP addresses. It's an immensely valuable tool, because then the trolls, the spammers, whoever it is, the harassers, they can't just create a quick one and come back in. Now, certain hackers could, right? There's certain ways around it if you're really good at know how to do it, but it cuts down a ton of the idiots or the kids or the Zack Snyder fans that are out there just having 15 accounts to troll one person. And, at a certain point, you should have a right to be turn that off. And he doesn't seem to care. Then not only does he refuse to match that same feature, he refuses to actually block people from threads. I have those same trolls who are blocked, who shouldn't be able to be on my thread, can still reply to replies in threads. And to me, that is a perfect example that I think I wish journalists and others would call him out on and be like, dude, this isn't good for mental health. It's not good for what you claim is not hateful. There are clear examples one could have pulled, and this guy had nothing. He was just going off of what he was told by the media. And then Elon, again, like a boss, is sitting there name one. Yeah, I understand you're telling me what you heard, sir. People can say a lot of things, but you told me you saw it. So tell me one. And the guy's like, well, and then he says it like 4 times, Kim, even after Elon calls him out. He's like, yeah, well, I saw it, but I can't name a thing. So let's move on. Okay, yeah, let's move on, buddy.
COVID misinformation. You changed the COVID misinformation
Has
rules.
BBC changed its COVID misinformation?
The BBC does not set the rules on Twitter, so I'm asking you.
No, I'm talking about the BBC's misinformation about COVID.
Look at that face.
I'm literally asking you about, you changed the labels, the COVID misinformation labels. There used to be a policy, and then...
This guy thought he had him. He's like, okay,
Yeah,
well,
he
you
did.
got me. I'm going to get you on this one.
Then disappeared. Why do that?
Well, COVID is no longer an issue. Does the BBC hold itself at all responsible for misinformation regarding masking and side effects of vaccinations, and not reporting on that at all? And what about the fact that the BBC was put under pressure by the British government to change its editorial policy? Are you aware of that?
This is not an interview about the BBC.
Oh, you thought it wasn't?
I see now what you've done Twitter Spaces. I am not a representative
Oh, you thought it wasn't?
of the BBC's editorial policy. I want to make that clear. Let's talk about something else. We want
I'm
to talk about the
interviewing you
BBC.
too.
All
Yeah,
right,
let's talk about something else.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's talk about
wow.
something else. Oh, God. This doofus. What's this guy's name again? They sent me in the chat. Wow, man. That was embarrassing. I haven't seen a burn like that bad in a long time. That was hard to watch. But I got it. James Clayton. That's who it is. James Clayton. Wow, bro. You really showed him. And then what's just really funny is as they, here he is, James Clayton. Here he, in 90 seconds, he sort of tries to sum it up. And there's a couple other interesting quotes here, but Kim, he manages to skip all of that in his breakdown of what happened. I think more people are talking about the other 4 minutes that you kept trying to hope no one was seeing, but thankfully Elon was putting it on his spaces at the same time, so it couldn't be like forgotten about. So good on him. That's why I record my interviews with any interviewer or journalist who comes to me, like Kat, etc. I will do it, but I'm going to record it too because I need to have the freedom to prove that these people are absolutely biased. They're absolutely crazy. They have their own narratives. They're spinning this like, you did this, sir. You're wrong. Show me how. What? Kim, I'll say it again. I'm just complaining. There are so many people out there complaining. I don't want to give attention to it. But literally just now I had another one. Andy, where's all the charity money you promised from the t-shirts? Blah, blah, blah. Literally just donated it. Just donated it. And what's so amazing is like not one place was there specific details that said it. We said portion of proceeds would go to charity. We always promised that. We fulfilled our promise. The truth is we went to some other charities pretty immediately after, and they refused. Why'd they refuse? They were DV charities. They didn't want to pick a side. And I was super bummed by it. And it actually delayed the process a bit because I wanted to do it properly. I wanted to do an event. I wanted to make it more. People have been chipping at us. They went after my shirt provider. These people are like terrorists. There was no point ever. But some people are just so unhinged, they'll go there. And then we do it. We finally dropped it last night, which I saved for the end on purpose. And they're still doubling down like, oh, you didn't do this. You didn't do this. And it's like, what part of it ever said what we specifically would do? And also, if you are a customer that actually is worried or ever had doubts, send us your invoice number and we will make it right. But that's the problem. There's so many people out in these social medias, and the media themselves, they don't care. They'll just push a mean, malicious, or ignorant, or stupid narrative, and they'll just hammer, hammer, hammer. And to see like the small scale, the trolls I got to deal with is nothing compared to like the BBC is supposed to be above it all. And this guy's just peddling some bullshit that he's been told, and he's just gonna, I'm gonna do it to your face, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I just gotta say, I thought this was brilliant, and I haven't been a fan of Elon in a while, but it's really great when you can see somebody calmly just expose the like, dude, show me what I did wrong. Show me the evidence that this. What do you mean? What hateful thing? Okay, let's fix it. What are you talking about? It's amazing. So I don't usually give the man props, but that was amazing to see a man confront a troll, Kim, and just do it like a boss. Final
I
thoughts
think
of this before we clip this portion?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like I expect more from reporters in the sense that if you are going to be reporting things as fact, you need to have those things to back it up. If you know you're going to be getting into a conversation with Elon Musk, you know he's not going to play by the rules. You know he's going to try to get in a back and forth with you. So you have to bring your receipts, you have to know your sources, and you've got to do it, the right way. And I feel like this just he seemed very unprepared. And I think he created far too many opportunities to make himself look a little stupid.
Very, very, very,
Yeah.
to use my son's favorite button.
Stupid!
Now, guys, you can still donate. I want to make that the priority today. Yep, if we want to get to 70,000, you can do it. If you missed it yesterday and you got some extra thrown on over there, thank you guys so much for supporting. And real quick, today is your last day. I got him to extend it a day. It was supposed to expire last night, but I know a lot of people were donating and didn't get a chance. Today is your last day. The shirt site will be down tomorrow. So if you wanted any Popcorn Planet merch, all those people that were apparently complaining that, oh, the charity didn't go, no actual customer ever complained, Kim. Not a single one complained. Just a bunch of people who hated me complained. And all the money and more went to charity, guys. But if you'd like to, this is your last chance to get a shirt, because we are going to, retire a lot of this stuff. There will be some more like Popcorn Planet logos eventually when we find a new shop, but it's just not a huge priority to me, because it's not huge revenue and it's more for you guys. So if you want it, I'm warning you, it's your last chance. And thanks to Brian for all that he did. God, guys, please leave Brian alone. Guy's going through a lot and he did so much for us. It really pissed me off how those people tried to get him. It was really troubling to see how just they would come at me, whatever, but leave him alone. And I want to thank Brian because he's amazing. And thank you for letting this be up one more time. The hats, you're not going to get them that cheap ever again. The shirts, they're all there. They're really good quality. If you wanted anything to have as a keepsake or just a Popcorn Planet shirt, the group shot, whatever, it's all there. So now's your chance. Get it at discounted rates as he's clearing out a lot of the merchandise. And thank you, Brian and No Sis, for all you did. You guys are awesome. Also, those candles, proceeds will go to Make-A-Wish. If you want to smell like Steph's vajayjay, or you want to smell like a mega pint, you can get Corey's candle, or you can smell like couch. They're all there. Thanks to the ones who picked it up yesterday. I'll have the mods put the links out, and we'll put it in the description of this video. Thank you for watching. If you're live, don't go anywhere. We're not done. We're just getting started. If you're watching on the replay, what are you doing? I didn't mean to go black. It's supposed to, my join's not working. It's right there next to the subscribe. Hit the join. You can also hit the subscribe, hit the bell, but hit the join, pick a tier, and become a member. You'll be able to watch all the replays in your leisure. Make sure you also support It's Kim over on YouTube, and Steph the Alter Nerd, Lewis Leck over Nerd Report, and we'll be back here in 1 second.